So we're at the Montego Bay Freeport Police Station with Counsel, President of the Cornwall Bar Association, Attorney at Law, Stacy Ann Young. Stacy, can you tell us what transpired here at the cells, at the lockup, during the state of emergency when the Cornwall Bar stepped in?
Well, we felt it necessary to step in because we realized that the situation was not being handled in a manner that anybody at all would have wanted. I had great concern about the condition that the persons who were detained were being kept in. When I arrived on Tuesday morning, there were several family members concerned about their relatives who were standing outside who had no update at all about their loved ones. We had indicated earlier that we as a bar felt that it was our duty to offer our assistance by way of working with the Legal Aid Council to provide duty counsel services for persons who were unable to afford private representation. We found that even though that was what we had decided to do at the onset, we had to go a little beyond that. We had to be liaisons for the public, as no one was giving them information as to where their loved ones were being kept. So I was joined on Tuesday morning by Hugh Faulkner, who is the Executive Director of the Legal Aid Council. We spent hours inside interviewing persons who were detained for as much as 4 days without being allowed to shower. Some people were complaining that they didn't have food to eat. We had already spoken about an area that is an annex to the cells, which we describe as a shed, where there's a part of it that is open to the elements, where if it rained, persons would get wet. There was no beds, so it was standing accommodation only, in a very inhumane and, I believe, unsafe manner. We have been giving our voice to the situation for days, and thankfully the authorities responded. So as the week progressed, we saw where there was some kind of improvement. We also saw response from the Assistant Commissioner. There were two of them here, I think Powell and Blake. They visited on several occasions to monitor the situation. I know that directives were given on Thursday evening for persons who were in custody for over 48 hours, who were not wanted by the police, for them to be vetted and for them to be released. We were concerned about minors. We gave our voice and the minors were released. We were concerned about elderly persons over 50 and 60 years old who were in custody for an extended period of time without any satisfactory reason to hold them here. We gave our voice and they were released. We were advised that there were persons of interest. The police found who they were looking for, and therefore those persons, we provided assistance for them to be questioned, for ID parades to be held, so that the process could go on. I am thankful to say that after a week, on my check, most of the persons who were being detained have been released because they were not persons of interest per se. I know that when I left the cells a while ago, there were 19 persons there and they were being processed. I'm still concerned about that shed area, but because the numbers are decreased, I believe that the discomfort is a little more minimized. But I have a concern still because it is still open to the elements. These people are still being held there. It is now only 2 days, 48 hours. But I am concerned, because we have to stop treating persons as if they're all criminals and you are innocent until proven guilty. We have agreed that a state of emergency should mean that rights are going to be suppressed, but we do not in any way, shape or form want anybody to be oppressed. We are concerned because Section 30 of the regulations indicate that these persons who are supposed to be taken into custody are persons who are supposed to have acted or believed to be acting in a way that is harmful to the public. And we had a concern about the arbitrary manner in which persons were being selected. There didn't seem to be any real suspicion of anything except that, we were just wholesale taking up persons and taking them to be processed. We are also concerned about the fact that processing includes fingerprinting and taking of photographs, and that these this information is going to be held by the police, and we are not sure about the security of the manner in which this information is going to be held. So that is our concern, but we will take it up at the appropriate juncture. What I would like to say is I give my kudos to the police officers who have been working overtime in very, very strenuous situations. We welcome the state of emergency, but all we want is that persons are being to be treated in a way that is very humane. I do not want, as much as the regulations would say, that the officers are entitled to have person in custody up to 7 days, and if needs be for it to be extended beyond that period of time. In no way, shape or form would we want that to be the norm, for persons to be kept for 7 days without proper food or without proper access to hygiene. So I believe that an improvement can be made in that way, and that is why we have taken it very seriously. We are here monitoring the situation, and we will give our voice, because we realize that when we give our voice, that something is done. We also realize that we were able to provide a very useful service to the members of the public, because we have been the liaisons. Persons were locked out of the police station. They were not allowed to come in to make inquiries. So we had to step up. We had to go get the names of their loved ones, come in, give them information, and let them know what is happening on the ground.